Oh my, startled me. Oh, you must be here to learn about Valkyrie, huh? Well, let me tell you about it. So, I have not, before this, I had not seen this film. My brother had seen this movie before I had a few years ago, and I'd always wanted to watch it since then, but till now, I haven't been able to see it, so it was nice to see it now. Now, this movie starts off pretty fast. It goes right into the ideas of wanting to go against Hitler. It starts off with a speech from Tom Cruise's character, Klaus von Stauffenberg. Talks about his views of Hitler and how he does not like Hitler. They don't do much development into how they develop these ideas. I kind of wish there was some more development into their motives and everything, but I feel like the filmmakers kind of expected the audience to know and understand why each of these characters does not like Hitler, since Hitler was completely bonkers. So the film won the BMI Film Music Award, won that in 2009. Also, lead actor Tom Cruise, Bill Nighy, Carice Van Houten, and Bryan Singer were all nominated for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, and Best Director, respectively. At the start of the movie, they give very gloomy visuals. There's a smoky view of the oath that the Germans had to give to Hitler. They say the oath in German. There's also some weird Nazi chants going on as well with that. They make it very spooky looking. Very spooky looking. Not long after that, they show Colonel Stauffenberg with his unit in North Africa, where they're attacked by American bombers. So following that attack, Stauffenberg's injured, and he loses his right hand, his left eye, and 2 fingers on his left hand. So that's why in the movie he's always wearing an eye patch, and his right hand is missing. That's most of the action of the movie, like with violence-wise or anything that happens in that first scene, which means it's definitely not your typical war movie, as they say. And critic Lisa Schwarzbaum stated that Valkyrie, as field commanded by director Bryan Singer, succeeds on its own terms as a handsome hybrid of conspiracy, thriller, and history lesson. I would definitely agree with this statement, because it's definitely a thriller. It's very suspenseful at times, and it's definitely a historical lesson, because prior to watching this movie, I had no idea about anything about Valkyrie, about anything what happened. So I never had any problems with the acting in this movie. Each actor did a very good job. There are some critics had problems with the fact that every actor talks in their native or natural accent. There's no German accents except with Hitler. So it's very interesting. Only Hitler was the one speaking with a German accent. With Tom Cruise is a German colonel, but he was speaking with an American accent. The movie itself was very appealing. It was very good. It was an excellent. It made the plot itself look very, very good. Essentially the plan that the German conspirators had to kill Hitler was that there's this reserve army. There's a operation called Valkyrie, or a command called Valkyrie, where essentially this reserve army comes in and is supposed to secure Hitler's government if Hitler is ever assassinated. So their plan is that they're going to use this reserve army, which is designed to stop coups from happening. They're going to use this army to, as a coup itself. They're going to frame the SS for staging a coup, but in reality, they are the ones that are staging a coup. It's a little difficult to explain, but it's very well portrayed in this movie and is a very incredible plan. However, it is extremely sad because watching this movie, I knew that they were going to fail. From history saying that Hitler killing himself. He actually killed himself a year after this plot happened. Um, yeah, it was very sad knowing that they're not going to succeed. It isn't until the plan is actually starting to unfold that the suspense really starts to build. Even though I knew they failed, somewhere inside of me, I still thought that they could do it. It's such a well planned out plan. It's just the fact that Hitler didn't die that kind of messed him up. There's some dramatic irony because they keep going on thinking that Hitler was killed, but by the bomb that they had placed, but he wasn't dead. The audience is shown that Hitler is still alive, and we know that Hitler is still alive, but they don't. The characters in this movie do not know. The ending was extremely depressing. In lots of true story movies, there's an ending where they show that this individual or this character goes on to do this with their life. They go on to do this great thing or this after this movie is after this event took place. But at the end, yeah, that didn't happen in this movie. They kind of just they list off and show each character, and they list off when they were executed. Since they were all, there's about I think it was 200 people were executed for this conspiracy. So they, all spoiler alert, but the end of the movie is very depressing because they all get executed, and they're all it's very sad. It was very sad to watch. The historical aspect of this movie was pretty impressive. They had a bunch of authentic costumes and vehicles and props and such. There's a couple scenes of a telecommunications room, and all the telecommunication devices in that room are actually authentic. I think there's about 30 of them that they found. Also, all of the tanks that they show at the beginning of the film are actually real. They had real, authentic late 1930 tanks that they used in this movie, and that they didn't just build their own. There was also Hitler's headquarters was also built as an exact replica of the headquarters, which I thought was incredible. So of course they also changed some stuff in this movie. Being Hollywood, it wouldn't be a very good movie if it wasn't for some changes that they put in. There's one instance where they had to have changes to Valkyrie signed by Hitler himself, and in the movie, Stauffenberg meets with Hitler in person. However, in reality, Stauffenberg never met in person with Hitler. That was a made-up scene, just to create more a suspenseful moment, very scary moment. Because they make Hitler look very menacing in this movie, but in reality, the plan was just approved and sent to Stauffenberg later on. It was very interesting when I found out that Colonel Stauffenberg, who was played by Tom Cruise, he wasn't actually his real character was not actually always against Hitler. He was actually a follower of Hitler and his ideals, and it wasn't until the war started to look more unwinnable that Stauffenberg actually turned against Hitler and went along with this conspiracy. There's also a scene at the end of the movie when they're all being executed by firing squad that Lieutenant Hafton, he stands in front of Stauffenberg when it's his turn, and he takes the bullets for Stauffenberg. However, this scene never happened in reality. Colonel Lieutenant Halfton was actually found a little bit after these executions and was executed himself, but he was never there to take the bullet for Stauffenberg. Overall, I definitely approve of this movie. It was a very good movie in my opinion, and I really enjoyed watching it. There's a lot of extremely suspenseful moments, and how they were visualizing and acting the plan was very, very well done. I thought it was just really enjoyable to watch. It was cool to see. It was cool to see how every German was not on Hitler's side during World War II. I think often a lot of people see that all the Germans are bad, that all the Germans were on the side of Hitler, but in reality that's not the case. And it was very interesting to see all this, and there was information at the end of the movie where they said that there were 15 assassination attempts on Hitler's life by Germans, which was very, very surprising to me that there were that many. And also Valkyrie, this Operation Valkyrie was the last attempt on Hitler's life, because a year later, Valkyrie, sorry, not Valkyrie, but Hitler killed himself. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in World War II, anyone who enjoys learning about World War II, or anyone who just wants to see an overall pretty interesting movie about something that we don't usually learn in our history books.